These past few weeks, I have been putting a lot of spotlight on the new Cursor Composer update, which is, in my opinion, making it an ideal code editor with integration of AI within the IDE itself. Cursor is truly one of the best IDEs that's out there, and it's closely on par with VS Code, and in certain areas it's even better. Now the only problem is, many people were mentioning in my comments saying that Cursor charges $20 a month to access more completions with Composer, which is definitely a trade-off, and it kept people away from using it. But what if I'm to tell you that there is a free open source AI code editor that is an alternative to Cursor and VS Code? Well, it's called Zed AI. Zed AI brings LLMs directly into your editor with an extendable text-centric approach, which has also Ollama support so that you can utilize open source local LLM. Zed AI is a new assisted AI programming tool, and it has integrations directly with your code editor. It offers powerful interfaces for working with LLMs. It allows for developers to generate, transform, and even analyze code quite seamlessly with the help of AI. Now, Zed AI includes features like an assistant panel, slash commands, you have inline assistants, and prompt libraries. And this will all enable users to interact with AI models directly within their workflows, so that you can make the right changes for your code within this collaborative code assistant. Now, it supports a growing list of LLM providers as well, and this is where I'll showcase many of these cool new features as we go further into the video. This is Zed AI's assistant panel, and it's basically not just a typical chat interface. It's a fully functional text editor, and it's going to provide a complete visibility and control over your interaction. This is where you can work with your LLMs, and unlike traditional AI interfaces that you could see with Cursor or VS Code, there is a lot more that happens behind the scenes, where Zed makes every token of the interaction visible and editable. There's slash commands like file, terminal, and tab that can seamlessly be integrated into the context of your workflow. It's going to offer more transparency. It's going to add more precise control rather than relying on magic. Now, this approach is going to allow developers to fully engage with and fine-tune AI assistants directly within the coding environment. There's also an inline transformation feature which will enable you to edit code using natural language. It's going to offer immediate interactive feedback, and it's by simply activating with the control enter command. You can see changes instantly, and it's going to facilitate by streaming diffs. Now, this feature is going to provide a powerful AI assistance while ensuring you to maintain full control over your code. So this way, you can see that it's going to be similar to the control K feature that you would see with Cursor, or with extension features that you would see with Tabby within VS Code. Now, this is definitely a great new feature or a code editor that is quite, like, in my opinion, better looking than VS Code and Cursor. It has a really cool interactive UI, and that's one thing I definitely prefer over the other two. There's also a fast edit mode, which is a feature from Anthropic, and they're actually collaborating with Anthropic so that it is going to allow the Claude 3.5 Sonnet model to echo its input much faster than generating new text. It's going to result in near instant like refactoring. You're going to also see that it's going to integrate different sorts of features that would be implemented into the open source code base, and this will result in enhancing the efficiency and the speed of AI assisted programming within Zed AI. With Zed, you can also create custom slash commands using WebAssembly or their JSON-based protocol, and this will allow you to integrate your own data source. It will enable you to even integrate documentation or any proprietary information directly into the editor. It's a flexibility that will enable you to tailor Zed AI's assistance to meet your specific needs, and this is by providing a highly personalized coding experience when you're working with code bases or with your business's code. You also have a workflow command where you can simply just press in slash workflow into the side panel, and it's to guide multi-step transformations directly from the system panel. It's currently a feature that is in alpha, and it works efficiently and effectively with the programming languages such as Rust as well as Python. So you can see that it can contribute to the development process, and it's something that is going to definitely elevate your code. So here comes a question that all of you guys tend to ask when comparing all of these different frameworks code editors as well as LLM. What is better? And in my opinion, both of them are great in their own specific ways. And I know this is not a clear answer, but I am gonna basically differentiate both of them. Now, Zed definitely stands out for its noticeable speed, and this is why a lot of people have been creating a lot of buzz for this, because it has a speed advantage over Cursor as well as VS Code in terms of the code changes being made. Now, it makes it quite a compelling choice for developers who are seeking for performance, whereas Zed's Copilot experience might not be the best in comparison to Cursor or the VS Code extensions such as Tabby as well as Copilot. Now, Cursor still leads in this area as well as advancements in AI integration. Now, we see that Zed AI has been focusing on different implementations such as the Command A feature of AI generation, but in my opinion, Composer is far more superior than Zed AI's Control K feature because of the AI integrations as well as the overall performance of the generation of Cursor. But we can see that VS Code's extensive extensions remain hard to beat. And in my opinion, all three are quite amazing in their own specific ways. It's pushing a lot more advancements and it's creating more competition, which will eventually just keep on increasing the quality of all three of these products. Zed is definitely lightweight and it adds advantages in terms of prioritizing speed and efficiency. Cursor is quite great in terms of the AI integrations as well as the advancements of integrating AI into your code. And VS Code is definitely great with its extensive extensions and profound background in terms of its reputation as well as the growth of the platform itself over the years. So how can you get started? Well, you can simply download now by clicking on this, but it's only available for Mac OS and Linux. You're soon going to be able to install it for Windows, and I'll definitely let you guys know on my Twitter as I'm continuously updating all the different things that are happening in the AI space over here. So definitely give this a follow if you haven't already. So unfortunately, I won't be able to give you a live demo since my computer is in a Windows operating system. So I won't be able to showcase this, but I'm going to be showing you this video, which will showcase what you can do and get started, or how you can get started with.
Hey, I'm Nathan, and this is Zed. Let me show you something cool. Here, I'm holding down the tab switch key binding and rotating through all the tabs in this Zed workspace as fast as I possibly can. And that's actually pretty fast because I have my keyboard repeat rate overclocked, and it's spitting out events at pretty close to 120 Hertz. But you can see that Zed's having no trouble keeping pace with this. The video software I'm using to record the video is limited to 60 FPS, and I don't know how this is going to come through, but on my screen, I'm seeing each individual tab light up for its own separate frame, and the contents of all the tabs blurring together. It's pretty awesome. How do we achieve this kind of performance? We went back to the drawing board. When we started Zed, we knew that we didn't want to implement it like our last editor, Atom, which was to implement it as a web application. To get the kind of responsiveness we wanted, we thought it would be a better idea to implement Zed like a video game. And the result of that is GPUI, our custom UI framework that's written in Rust and designed to leverage all of your GPU cores and your CPU cores effectively. Let's dive into some of the details of GPUI just to showcase some of Zed's other features as part of this demo. Here we're looking inside of the metal render object, which is a piece of code that's really relevant to the FPS meter that we were just looking at. Here you can see we're inside of a completed handler, which we pass to the metal API, and it fires this handler for us every time a frame is rendered by the GPU. And here we're grabbing a GPU timestamp and logging it. But we don't want to just log the GPU timestamp. I think we actually want to track it over time. And so to do that, I've sketched in this FPS counter object. Now it's important to note that this increment method is going to get called on an arbitrary thread. And just to be safe, I think we should make this object thread safe. That's why I'm returning an arc here. But it also needs to be fast. And this is the kind of task that would have taken me a while in the past. But thanks to language models, it's actually something that's pretty short work. So I'll use this tab/command in Zed's assistant panel and pull in the active tab. And I'll also pull in the metal render tab just for additional context for the model to have here. Now I'll just ask the model, implement the FPS counter as an atomic ring buffer. Cool. Oh, I spelled that wrong, but it doesn't matter. And it outputs a pretty reasonable implementation. I'll switch my focus back over to the editor and hit Control-Enter to fire Zed's inline assist feature. The inline assist has full visibility to the context on the right, and so I can just say, apply the change, and you're going to see something pretty cool here. Ta-da! Look how fast that was. It's ridiculous. Let me just show you it again. It looks like the buffer size is 60. Let's say make the buffer 128 and run that transformation one more time. Boom. How the heck are we going that fast? We're not doing it. Anthropic's doing it. They've given us access and a small group of Zed users, but we're going to be growing that as fast as we can, to this new rewrite optimized version of Claude 3.5 Sonnet that's really good at echoing things that are in its input into its output. And so it's becoming basically, a text editing model. Pretty amazing. But if we go to a bigger file, how do we handle that? Am I going to rewrite this entire file, metal render, 1,200 lines? Doesn't seem like the best approach, even though that thing is that fast. So I handle this case where we're inside a larger file. We've added a new feature called workflow to the assistant panel. So when I run the workflow / command, it's just inserting a prompt, and that prompt is guiding the model to output these special step tags.
Now, at the end of the day, this is definitely a great alternative to Cursor. It's completely free and open source, and I definitely would give it a shot if you want to try out something that is free and, like, I would say closely on par with VS Code and Cursor. This is definitely a great alternative, so I'll leave all the links that I use in today's video in the description below. Hope you found this video to be helpful and you got some sort of value out of it. Now, I would definitely appreciate it if you guys can check out the Patreon page, because this is a great way for you to access different subscriptions completely for free. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, a free way for you to get AI news on a daily basis. And lastly, make sure you guys subscribe, turn on the notification bell, like this video, and check out our previous videos so you can stay up to date with the latest AI news. But with that thought, guys, have an amazing day. Spread positivity, and I'll see you guys fairly shortly. Peace out, fellas.